Here's a really unique take on grilled pizza. This is going to be done the same style that most traditional Rhode Island grilled pizzas is done, except it's not tomato based. As opposed to using flour, we're going to use oil. So I've got the cast iron pan here on the stovetop. Put a little bit of that nice oil on there. Proofing is when dough sits out at room temperature. So as dough sits out at room temperature and gets warmer, some of the yeast that's in there reacts and it sort of expands, makes it very light and very airy. Have your dough nice and proofed. If your dough is cold or hasn't proofed, it's not going to stretch as easy as this. Traditionally, what you're shooting for on a grilled pie is thin and crispy. Onto this cast iron pan here, stretch it out so it's nice and even, and just sort of let it do its thing. Really nice. You can see how even that pizza came out. It looks almost transparent, but as it rises up as it cooks, it's going to be perfect. While that's cooking, I just want to talk about a few ingredients here. We have that beautiful Narragansett Creamery ricotta cheese, local product that we've just thinned with a touch of heavy cream. Ricotta can be a little salty, so don't add any additional salt. Keep it very, very simple so it's a nice sweet pizza. We've got some beautiful sugar pumpkin, readily available in the fall from pretty much any farm that you can find in Rhode Island. They're all growing it. This is sugar pumpkin. The process is cut the pumpkin in half, skin on, remove the seeds, a little bit of honey, a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of salt. Bake it in the oven, scoop it out of the skin, and give it a nice little julienne like that. It's very small, so a lot of that sugar hasn't overdeveloped, so it's a very sweet pumpkin. I've got some sage here, which is a very meaty herb, all right, very thick herb. So be careful about how much you apply unless you're just a sage fanatic like I am. Then I've got this bacon over here, applewood smoked bacon from New Hampshire. This has been stewed down with just a little bit of maple syrup from Maine. It's grade A, it's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful candied bacon. And then one of my favorite cheeses of all time, the gruyere. It's a very pungent, strong French cheese. So that's going to be 3 cheeses altogether. Ricotta cheese, gruyere, and a little bit of Parmesan to finish. So our dough is looking great here. We're looking for just a light brown color. When you start it on one side, you want it under a higher heat. So you crisp that upper side, because when you flip it, you're going to drop the heat, because obviously you have the process of sort of putting everything on, topping it, and then melting the cheese. So let's take a peek. Oh, beautiful. Once that starts to get that nice, beautiful brown color over there, we're going to flip it. We're going to drop the heat, and then we're going to start to put on our ingredients. So this ricotta spread is actually like the sauce. So we're going to make it's going to be a white pizza. Now don't go too heavy on this. A little goes a long way. This is going to keep it very nice and moist and go all the way to the edge. Rhode Island pizzas are known for being crustless. So don't be afraid to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to take some of that delicious candied bacon. Again, this is thick cut applewood smoked bacon from a wonderful smokehouse in New Hampshire called North Country. And I'm just going to spread that out. We're going to go on with some of this sugar pumpkin. Nice wedges. If you wanted to make a puree of the sugar pumpkin, if you wanted to cube it, chop it, whatever you're in the mood for. We're going to put on some of that sage. And where some pizzas you may want to top it with the herb at the end, we're going to bake this right in there. And then some of this beautiful gruyere cheese. Spread that out nice and even. And we're going to just take a common saute pan and just invert it. And now that's almost creating like a Dutch oven effect. That heat is going to stay trapped in there. It's going to melt that cheese very, very beautifully. This process is now going to take about 5-6 minutes. I'm going to take some of this great Narragansett Bay Olive Oil Company oil and drizzle that on top. Hit it with a pinch of finishing salt, a little bit of black pepper. Parmesan cheese is going to add a very nice final flavor. When you think Rhode Island, you're thinking clam cakes and chowder. I'm thinking sugar pumpkin pizza with candy bacon and gruyere cheese. That is unbelievable.